Hi, welcome, Margaret. Thank you for joining us today to chat about your online teaching experience.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I wanted to get started talking about what advice would you give to someone who is getting ready to teach online for the first time?
Yeah, so maybe I can put that into the context of, my own online teaching. So I've been teaching online for probably 5-6 years now. And I thought when we were, discussing this recording or this interview, that I might put this in the context of the live sessions, because when you you come first time to online teaching and you need to deliver all this content online, my first approach was to create videos for a lot of the content, and then the content that was the most difficult to translate to videos, I would dump that into my live sessions, because I wanted to be able to explain live to the students what was going on. So my advice would be try not to do that. So what I find is that the live sessions are our opportunities to really engage with the students. So I think it's so important that we design them so they are very interactive, because otherwise, the students could just be, looking at videos. So my simple advice is try to stay away from lecturing or delivering content within the live sessions, but rather focus on, okay, how can we create interactivity both between the professor and the students, but also between the students themselves. So this is especially important now when we're all online all day. To get that interaction going is super important.
Wow, fantastic. So a lot of amazing nuggets of information. So flipped classroom, peer-to-peer learning, recorded lectures on the outside. Amazing. So along the lines of the live sessions, can you tell us something that particularly worked really, really well for you? Or do you have a demo that you'd like to share about what you're doing in your live session that's been so engaging with students?
Yeah, so one of my newest live sessions actually focuses on baseball. So this is in the online MBA program. So the majority in the online MBA are American students, so they all at least know baseball. So I use this example to engage them in, getting real world data set, trying to learn about, what kind of signals or insights can we get from that data set, and then to practice applying machine learning algorithms to the data set. So so I was thinking I might kind of take you through how I organized that live session, how I make sure that the students come prepared, and then how we keep track of the progress throughout the live session.
Fantastic. I'd love to see it.
Okay, perfect. So this is how I set up kind of the agenda for the live session. And I think one of the key things for these live sessions to work is to ensure that all the students come prepared. That's like the one fundamental thing that you have to make sure of, so that, really that the student conversation goes well. So what I asked them to do is to have finish some pre-live session work. And then, the way I ensure that everybody actually does the pre-work that is so critical, I have a small deliverable prior to the live session. So I ask them prior to coming to class to download the data, familiarize themselves with the data, and create one visualization of just some aspect of the data. So it can be really anything they want. Then as a part of kind of the enforcement mechanism, I have a small quiz where I ask them to upload that visualization and give me one insight from that visualization. So here is we are looking again at the live session. So this is how I organize it. So this is the pre-work. All the students know the data, they have worked with the data, so they come in kind of prepared. So then I start the live session just with kind of organization, what are we going to do, what are the time limits for each part. And then I immediately break them first into groups, kind of working with their the visualizations that they created. So I break them up into about 4 students per group. And then in a span of 20 or 25 minutes, I ask them to summarize as a group their visualizations and select one of them to present to the entire cohort. So the way I implement that is through Google Docs. And then here I have my part 1, which is the descriptive analysis. And then I have, examples of, I ask them, present the, best, and you can decide on how you define best, your best visualizations and the insights that visualization can tell us. And then you can see that these visualizations, they give us different insights. They look at the data from different angles. So that's often quite fun to discuss throughout the class, and not only this live sessions, but throughout the class. I'm always trying to emphasize the better you know your data, the better your end result from your machine learning model will be. So this serves also as an opportunity to reinforce that, okay, these insights that we learn from these visualizations, how do we carry them over to our modeling of the data? So I have a little discussion on that, and then again, we break into groups, and then they conduct analysis using classification or regression trees. So trying to, for example, predict next year's salary with regression trees. And again, they go into their groups. They have to decide which variables to use, how exactly they want to look at the dependent variable, and then, report back to the group. And again, that's delivered through the Google Doc. So here we have part 2. I kind of lay out the steps. Very important to have the time limit. And then we have basically, we try to finish this work by, in this case, 8:15, and then I have 15 minutes with them where 2 of the groups get to present what they did, and what do we, and then to summarize and kind of discuss this as a group. This live session is quite fun because, the students are engaged and it's open-ended, and usually we have a good discussion.
I love that. I love that. Margaret, thank you so much for your time today. It has been a true pleasure chatting with you.
Oh, thank you.